See this episode's show notes for our unique promo code to get up to 2 months of free podcasting service with Libsyn when you sign up for a new account. Get your show on Apple and Spotify, get helpful stats, and all the support you need to sound your very best.
This is Noel Tate from Trapped in a World, the Howard the Duck podcast, and you're listening to Into the Night, the Moon Knight podcast.
Yes, welcome back, Looney listeners. You are listening to Into the Night, the Moon Knight podcast. You are joined by both of your high priests of KHONSHU, Rebecca and Ray. Rebecca, Happy New Year. Hello, hello.
Happy New Year. So surprise. I'm just surprised. 2023 is never gonna not surprise me. It's so weird, but yeah.
It was on the cards for a long, long time. So
I mean, we've been building to it, yeah.
Glad we're finally here, but welcome, and everyone, welcome back to a brand new year, Into the Night. Can't wait. We've got plenty of things, straight off the bat, so very excited.
Off the
bat. Yes, and I think I didn't even mention 314. Rebecca, you did say it is.
It's our pie episode for anyone, anything in our house that ever says 314 gets a pie joke. So we have pie time and stuff like that. So
Yes.
I just noticed the episode number. So there you go. We've made it to pie.
We've made it to pie, and it is a Moonshine episode. So this will involve a new comic book issue, kind of newish. Rebecca, it did sneak in late last year.
Yeah, it's new to us. It's new. No, it's the most current and most recent issue. We're just a little behind because of holidays.
Yeah, we had a nice break. And speaking of which, Rebecca did have a good break, a peaceful break.
Yeah, it was very restful. I caught up on some sleep, watched some TV, did nothing particularly special. You had guests.
Had guests. Oh well, we were guests first. We went down to Melbourne for a bit, and then we came back and we had guests. So busy.
Just keeps going.
Oh yeah, it was fun. It was good. But as I was saying just before we hit the record button, it is good to kind of decompress a bit and just enjoy, the company of Eve and Finn. Other than that, it was a great kind of pretty tame New Year's Eve, but I enjoyed it. Saw a bit of
fireworks. It was very quiet for me because everyone else was out celebrating, and I was in because of work things. So I had a very, very quiet New Year, just looking after the cats for the fireworks.
Did you make it to midnight?
No, I never even try.
Oh, okay.
No, I mean I work at 3 a.m. It's just there's few things I'm up at midnight for. One of which is happening this week. But there's very few things I stay up till midnight for. And I was in the house on my own, so really, what would have been the point?
Yeah, exactly. And look, hey, 2023 was going to be there the next day, so...
Yeah, I mean, these things have a habit of catching up on you, so it's fine. No. I had a nice time. That was all right.
Good. And I hope everyone out there listening, we are live streaming... Looney listeners.
I haven't done that for a while, so apologies for all the talking over.
No, not at all.
Get back in the vibe.
I guess we've just got to apologise again, Rebecca, for the kind of awkward time if you are an American. So if you're up very early, welcome. If you're still asleep, I hope you do listen to this when you've woken up and you've enjoyed your
I think once
Sunday.
once we start getting into the new issues of 2023. We'll probably start. I mean, we'll still be doing bad times for Americans, but we'll probably start at least recording midweek a bit again.
Yes.
So.
Yeah, which will be very cool. Yes, again, Rebecca alluding to something which I can't wait to divulge to everyone. But of course, we are here, as I mentioned, a Moonshine issue. It will be on the latest and greatest Moon Knight Volume 9, Issue 18, by Jed MacKay and Federico Sabbatini this time.
Yeah.
Now, before that, of course, actually, a huge thank you to Patronies. A huge thanks to the top tier Patronies, Odin Saw, Drew Tomes, Daniel Doing, and Frank the Think Tank, and of course CLZ Comics and Dreamland Comics as well. Speaking of Patronies, just jumping, Rebecca, straight into...
Yeah, go for it. You might as well.
Some white noise
segue.
news. Good, yeah, exactly. I love a smooth transition. So one of the bits of news, it is podcast related, slightly to do with Moon Knight. Just I wanted to mention this in the last episode before the end of the year, but I just got so caught up in the chat with Mario, I forgot to mention it. But I just wanted to say, for all the Patronies, I will be sending out a thanks, a gift, a little gift to everyone for last year's. A huge thank you for being patrons to the show and stuff. It's only a little small thing, but I thought it would be quite nice,
it's
Rebecca.
An awesome and exclusive thing. So I think I'm sure everyone will be delighted.
Yeah, so I'll have all your details in the Patreon accounts and stuff, but basically I thought friends of the show, Rafael Santos, fantastic artist, has been producing Moon Knight related artwork all throughout last year, and he's kind of capped it off with his Moon Knight run with kind of a bit of an homage to ITK, Rebecca, which I thought was pretty cool.
Yeah, very nice.
Yeah, so I thought I'd convert that to like a poster and probably send that out to each of the Patronies as a thank you. So once again, a huge thank you to each and every one of you. I have put in here, Rebecca, as well. I've been looking at some websites, something funky. There are like holographic stickers. I might try and get some done.
Nice.
They won't cost extra to post if I post it with a poster. So, keep your eyes out and ears out, Patronies, for details there. I will get that to you as soon as I can. Rebecca, as for other bits of white noise, I'm a little sketchy on this, but I know that you had posted stuff up on some awards, right?
Yeah, I don't know all of. Let me go quickly see what I said because it was a while ago. But somebody said that they'd won a lot of other awards. So let me go see what the TV what we said. Yeah, the Diz Insider Awards, which is all for stuff on Disney Plus.
Yes.
Moon Knight won Best Actor, Best Supporting Actor and Actress, Best Voice Acting. So it did really well, and then I think it did well in someone else posted another set of awards it had done well in.
Fantastic.
I don't see right now where it is. So.
Oh, I mean that's pretty good though. I mean, we had been wondering, whether it would pick up some awards.
Yeah.
There were some big nominations. It had the TV show. I've seen some articles, Rebecca, as well, just sprayed on the internet. They could easily be anything, top 10, this and that. But Muhammad Diab did catch on to a Screen Rant article.
That, yeah.
And Moon Knight, the TV show, was listed as number one. The best, I'm terrible. I can't remember. The best superhero or the best MCU or TV related Marvel release of last year. Moon Knight came out. So that was pretty cool. I mean, but of course, it's very subjective.
But it's just nice to see it in the mix. I guess we should also talk. I didn't put this in the chat. I just found it while I was doing Discord. Jed posted his little teaser of things to come. In the new year.
Yeah.
Which of course, as we all focused in on 8 Ball in the bath.
I just saw a Chris Evans in the bath, Rebecca. That's all I can say.
Yeah, that's all I can see when I see that picture. But there's some like cool little things in there,
yeah. I had a little quick look. I
Soldier
guess
having a boogie.
Oh yeah.
Blade.
Blade is a big one. That was it.
I mean, we kind of knew that's happening. So, but it's I'm guessing that's why he could put it in the teasers. Like he's not going to put anything particularly spoilery. But there's Tigra still there. 8 Balls in the bath. Blade. Reese is there. Being Zodiac's there, but we kind of know that from this issue. And then Hunter boogieing.
Hunter boogieing as well.
I mean, Soldier.
Yeah. Oh, okay. I would pay to see Hunter boogieing.
No, yes, I think we saw that in this issue
we kind
for
of did as well.
a very defined definition of boogie.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I mean that's I mean the news again, beginning of the year, not much out there at the moment, but that's enough to wet the whistle, Rebecca.
Yeah,
I think.
the only other thing I said was that I read the first 2 issues of Murder World to get ready for the Moon Knight Murder World issue.
How's that?
It's genuinely really good.
Is it good? Okay.
Yeah, I mean, like I say that as if I'm like really, really surprised, but I think I just assumed it would be arcade doing stupid things with superheroes, and it's a little bit more like a riff on Squid Game. It's like more like non-superheroes are chucked into this. Now you all have to kill each other, or now you all have to like get out of this alive. And whoever does, and the superheroes are the actual. I mean, it's not the real superheroes. Are the ones they have to escape, or so like the first one it's the Avengers, second one it's all the Spideys, not all the Spideys because there's too many, but there's a lot of Spideys. And there's other things going on with the people who are in there, and it's so it'll be interesting to see how Moon Knight features, like if he's the baddie, like not the baddie, but it's because it's not obviously really the Avengers. So,
no.
So it'll be interesting to see. But I just thought, we know we've got. What's it going to be like to read the Moon Knight one without knowing the context? So I thought, I'll read the context. Yeah. So I'm actually very excited for it because I genuinely enjoyed reading those two. They seem very different from anything Marvel has like on the stands at the moment. So I think a lot of Moon Knight readers will get quite a kick from them. Like just reading it as a whole.
I totally forgot. There was that Murder World out thing. That's great.
I had this crazy thing where I went to order some comics, and I was ordering them, and for some reason wasn't letting me put the issue 1s on my pull list. It was like, you already passed the date for that, and I'm like, well, it's like these aren't coming out till March, and one of them was Moon Knight Murder World, so I didn't get the subscription price for it because it was like, oh no, you missed that. But that's why it was kind of in my head, because I've been like, make sure I don't forget it because it's not going to come as my normal subscription. And the other was I Am Iron Man. So I'm kind of annoyed that both of them, like I could possibly have missed 2 of the comics I would have normally been no-brainers for me. But that's why it was very high up in my mind when I saw that Murder World had started. I was like, oh, yeah, I'll just read the first couple. Or I thought I'll just read the Avengers one, see what it's like, see what the setup's like.
Yeah.
Get ready to talk about it when the Moon Knight one comes out. And then I enjoyed it enough to go buy the Spider-Man one.
Yeah.
The Moon Knight one's actually Valentine's Day, 15th of February, actually. So it's the Valentine's issue, it's the Moon Knight one. So.
Oh, let's hope it's romantic. Let's hope it's...
Yeah, let's
romantic with violence.
Romantic Moon Knight issues. It's what we've always been waiting for in my life. So.
Oh, no, that's great. I forgot. And just again on Discord, I think I saw... Did you post something? You're catching up with Avengers Forever. Is that right?
I'm trying to. Yeah, I kind of been flicking through them recently because I'm interested to see how Aaron's Avengers run ends. So I've been reading the occasional, like either Avengers or Avengers Forever, to try and I'm gonna have to go back and read it all because I'm sure it makes a lot more sense. But somebody was asking if the Moon Knight had been in it, and she was in the recent one. And she seems pretty cool. So I definitely want to go back and read both. I mean, look, I'm not a big fan of the run of either Forever or Avengers, but there's definitely there's bits of it that are really good. Like there's the odd issue that I've bought and really enjoyed. So I'm interested to see how it reads as a whole once it ends.
Okay, is Rebecca? You reckon it's a bit of speculation, the Aaron run finishing up? Is there a chance? Speculation. MacKay might.
There's high speculation on that.
Yeah.
Because of Timeless, really. Because he's done the last 2 Timeless, and this one was very much an Avengers one, and set up the new bad guys. So
that would be a boon. It would be a boon, wouldn't it? Like to write Avengers.
I mean, for sure. He's got Doctor Strange and Moon Knight. So it'd be quite a different like moving away from that sort of supernatural side.
Yeah.
Magical side. But yeah, look, he's definitely got the writing chops for it.
Exactly.
So I'd be up for it. It's just I don't know how many more comics I can put on my pull list affordability wise. But I'm all up for MacKay Avengers. Although, I'm up for whoever they decide. Like I think there is a very, very
Bendis.
strong chance. I mean, look, stranger things have happened.
I mean, it's hard to imagine that you can top anything after writing the likes of Moon Knight and Doctor Strange as well. But look, if Jed MacKay does land the gig, man, I will be picking that up in a heartbeat. I tell you.
Yeah, I mean, I'll definitely, and also I'd
Yeah.
say that given what we've seen with his other comics, there'd
Mm-hmm.
be a very strong chance of Moon Knight showing up.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
But look, my main criteria is I think he writes a really good Tony Stark from Iron Cat.
Oh, cool.
So
Yeah.
he gets the thumbs up from me. Like, I mean, if I didn't love him because of his Moon Knight run, he gets the thumbs up for me for Avengers for writing a good Tony Stark. So
Nice. And a bit of the saving grace would be that some of his runs are like minis, right? Like the Black Cat and an Iron Cat.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
it kind of helps your wallet out a little bit.
But then, I mean, let's go. Should we just go full on speculation and say, what about if he did West Coast Avengers?
Oh, yeah.
So I don't know if anyone's been reading Thunderbolts, but in one of the Thunderbolts issues, there is Clint talking to, on the phone talking to, I think, is it Simon?
Simon Williams?
I think so.
Awesome.
And I'm just pulling it up. Yeah, Simon. And saying, yeah, I'm thinking of going back to the West Coast. I'm talking West Coast Avengers. You, me, Greer, maybe call it Wander and Viz. So, and we know Greer's, hanging out with Mark. And
yeah, and he's got the history with being a wacko.
He's got the history, so
yeah.
that's another little...
Oh, if they would,
whether
that would
Jed
be
writes
good.
it or not, I mean, there's a chance.
Yeah. I really did enjoy. It was Kelly Thompson, I think she did the last one, and it had Tigra in there as well. That was very different.
That was the
reality
so cool. Show one, yeah.
Yeah,
that was fun.
Yeah, so
Jeff
I mean,
Landshark,
yes,
so.
Yeah, always she kind of gets that in there.
Well, that's where he started, so that's his origin. So
I think I saw. Speaking of Jeff the Landshark, he got like a variant cover. Did he?
No, he's got his own comic.
He's got his own comic. Okay, right.
So what they're doing is they're pulling the Infinity comic. It's Jeff, and they are putting it out in hard copy with some extra material in March, and I have also ordered that.
Oh, lovely! Yeah, I mean, as you should.
So hopefully they'll do the same for Alligator Loki, and then my cutesy bookshelves will get some additions. Oh, also, can we just this is totally random and nothing to do with Moon Knight, but I have to. If everyone's read Timeless, which I'm sure you all have because Jed wrote it.
Yeah, I will.
Can we talk about the biggest and most exciting hint, which is a new Pet Avengers?
Oh, lovely. Am I mistaken, Rebecca? Was there a cat involved in Moon Knight somewhere? No.
I don't think so.
No, okay. Did he have a pet?
I mean,
no.
There should be, and you know what he should be called? Ozymandias.
Oh,
I'm just saying.
And black as well.
If any Moon Knight writers are listening, I'd also like to point out that Ozymandias is the actual Greek version of Ramesses. So you could also call him Ramesses and be fully in Moon Knight territory.
Call it Ozzy, far out. That'll be great.
Just call him Ozzy. Or Larky. Look, I'll take Larky as well,
Yeah, oh, if it's Larky, Rebecca, that would be a huge cool nod, I must say. That'd be fun.
Especially as it's short for Malarkey, which also, fits
True.
Good one, Russell, as you should.
I loved Alligator Loki. Yes, Russell, I did too. I like any animal Loki. Is there a frog Loki as well? Have I got that wrong? There's a frog Thor.
There's a frog Thor.
Yeah.
There's a unicorn Loki.
Oh. Okay. Of course, yeah, we need one of them. That's cool. Yeah, maybe I got it mixed up with. I think I may have got it mixed up with Jessica Drew maybe with the other show, Rebecca. I remember coming across Someone's Got a Cat Now, and I thought, oh, it's pretty cool.
Bucky Barnes has got a cat.
Oh, does he?
Yeah,
Okay.
the Winter Soldier has a little white cat called Alpine.
Oh, that's okay.
But everyone
What
should
was
have a cat.
Yes, everyone's. I think that's what I was reading an old X Factor with Peter David, and Gambit has 3 cats.
Yes, Gambit does have 3 cats. Bless him.
Yes. Oh, yes, Russell as well, of course. Was it Flurk? I can't remember. Has a cat. Flurkin. Yeah, very cool cat. One of the coolest cats there is. Yeah, no, bring a pet Avengers for sure. Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. Rebecca, shall we get into this?
Yeah, let's do what we're
chat?
here for.
All right, listeners, here we go. We're going to enter our Moonshine review. Yes, and as mentioned, this is our new comic book review, new-ish, new to us. It is Moon Knight, Volume 9, Issue 18, Party Monster. And it was released 28th of December last year, 2022, but it has a cover date of February 2023. Writer Jed MacKay, penciler inker Federico Sabbatini, which, incidentally, Rebecca, when I read this, I kind of just didn't really take note. And again, I'd just like to call out how seamless it is having Sabbatini and Cappuccio.
I got to a certain point and went, oh, this is Sabbatini.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, me
and
too.
I still really love the fact that it's only been those 2.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's such a, so you automatically know. Like, it's like, oh, it's one or the other. And then, everything else stays the same.
It's kind of rare, I think.
It's really rare.
Like, you get a lot of fill-in. Yeah, you get a lot of fill-in artists, but thankfully Sabbatini's in there to do the job, and does more than that as well. Does the big tie-in books as well, and does the annual. So is quite well established. Colorist, of course, Rachelle Rosenberg doing a great job. Letter Cory Petit, and editor Martin Biro, Annalise Bissa, and Tom Brevoort. I only hesitated there, Rebecca, because I was listening to an old chat with Jed, and he did mention Martin. He did say the surname. I just couldn't remember how he said it.
Yeah, I always say Biro because I'm
Biro,
terrible,
the pen.
But
Hi, Martin. Hi, Biro.
It's the first thing I see. I have no idea how it's pronounced, but apologies if we're wrong.
Sorry, Martin. And yes, available, since it's kind of new, a floppy format and digital. Before we get into the bare bones, Rebecca, might as well pull up and again, live streaming, you can catch this, you can see this. Might as well pull up the covers, the variant covers, Rebecca. Let's have a chat about that. So, awesome. I think it was we all kind of were wooed by this in the solicits. Moon Knight and Tigra again sharing the cover. Steven Segovia and Rachelle Rosenberg doing the colours. Looks pretty cool there, with them surrounded. As you know, if you've been reading the comic, they've jumped into the middle of a vampire conclave. Is that how you pronounce it, Rebecca?
Yep, that's how you pronounce it. Okay,
it's deceptively simple. But Moon Knight there with the Cestus, Tigra getting ready. It looks pretty cool. There are 3 variants. The other one is a textless Virgin variant of this cover. So there it is. Just imagine it without the... I didn't want to put that on. We have the other one. I didn't realise there was this one. Carl Hotz, he's a really cool artist. He did a really good variant for issue 1 all the way back in Moon Knight.
Yeah.
I think it was an incentive cover. This one, Carl Hotz and Dan Brown, and it has... Cool. It is,
I like all the gravestones.
Yeah, it's a lot more darker, a little bit more Platt for me. Just I'm looking at the Stephen Platt just with the cape and the texture.
Moon Knight has a lot of muscles.
He does, and he's really, he's really sticking out his chest, isn't he? Yeah, he is.
I wasn't going to say that. Yes, Moon Knight might need a bra in this issue. In this cover.
It's a lump of a man, and Tigra there. Tigra there looking deadly as always, sporting the current suit, it seems.
Yep.
And the final one, which I saw already, I might pick this one up, the Peach Momoko one.
Cute. I like that a lot.
Yeah. And it's got a little subtitle here, The Marvel Universe by Peach Momoko. So I think she's doing all the titles potentially and doing her version.
Maybe,
that's
yeah, it does feel like that, doesn't it? I mean, it sounds like that.
But for those listening to the podcast, just Moon Knight here in front of it's kind of like a full blood moon, and quite
very drapey clothes.
Drapey clothes,
but in very much Peach's style is
exactly.
Very nice.
That's what I'm saying. Very much in her style. So, so those 3 covers there looking pretty good. Now, again, listeners, what Rebecca and I will do, we'll go through a bare bones, and since time has passed a little, Wiki is supplying that for us to this episode. And then Rebecca and I will, after an overall impression, we'll go through some key moments, what were the main kind of beats of the story, and then just discuss any notes that we might have, whether they be on writing, art, themes, characterizations, or any references, anything that we'd like to, point out. So, Rebecca, would you be so kind?
Yes, let's go. Mr. Knight greets the tutor. He admits that in all this time, despite the bloodshed and bruises from Nemean and Grand Mal, who are now battered and chained on the floor, the 2 foes have never met. Now they're together in the same room. Mr. Knight looks him in the eyes and tells him he'll kill him. Unfazed, Tutor uses the interruption to elaborate on his earlier statement about how Moon Knight and Tigra, announcing her presence, are the old way, moon gods and superheroes, while the structure is the future. Mr. Knight asks if he's done, but the tutor hasn't even begun and promises to make him a raffle prize, which is pretty fun. Done listening, Moon Knight greets the vampire audience, reminds them that New York City is his territory and will brook no trespass from them. Many floors below, Soldier works to sabotage the building's power, using skills he learned in Hydra with Reese keeping vigil. Connecting to the main server on a laptop, Soldier comments that he never fit in, a bit like a square peg in a round hole world. This is what Hydra looked for when recruiting people, taking their hate and anger to channel into tools for terrorism, such as accessing a building's security system. From that, Soldier finally found out what he was good at. Back to the conference room, the tutor's patience has run out, and Moon Knight asks sarcastically if the tutor was curious about his secret weapon. Despite the tutor's dismissal, Moon Knight catches an umbrella he prepared and holds Tigra close underneath as he signals to Soldier. In the control room, Soldier concludes his speech with a mention of his understanding of Reese's look of confusion, because although he reviles Hydra, he does miss the feeling of belonging, and he's only found it again under Moon Knight. Aww. Willing to die for the Midnight mission, Soldier knows he will someday, but he's glad to know it'll be on the right side. With the sprinklers active, Tutor charges Moon Knight, calling Taskmaster's fear of the white-clad hero idiotic, but Moon Knight corrects him as he is not a superhero, but a priest of KHONSHU.
Thus he consecrates the sprinklers to create raining holy water, burning away the vampires dampened by the indoor rain. Moon Knight directs Tigra to kill any vampires while ensuring a witness, much to her delight now that she can stop posturing and adorn her silver claw caps. Calling the Hunter's Moon for his silver khopesh, his brother arrives and voices confusion as to why Moon Knight talks too much. Slaughtering the vampiric numbers, Moon Knight calls out to Tudor, and while the structure could survive losing rank and file by Tudor turning more people, the organisation cannot stand without him at all. In his final moments, the tutor begs for mercy, bargaining service to Moon Knight to expand the Midnight Mission into a powerhouse, and Moon Knight becoming a god of the streets. Moon Knight rejects him, having enough gods in his life, and kills him expediently. Tigra signals to Moon Knight that a surviving human was among the attendees as Hunter's Moon confirms all vampires are dead in a good night's harvest, and the trio gather around Renfield to have him relay a message to Dracula about moving in on New York. Elsewhere at the Myrmidon, psychotherapist Dr. Robert Plesko is intrigued by an inmate's case and asks for their name, which the inmate tells him that he knows. Refuting him, Dr. Plesko continues by mentioning the inmate's refusal to cooperate with the prison administration, and there is no record of his identity outside of his crimes. The inmate claims to know a little about the doctor, knowing he's not as soft academic as the inmate sees in his eyes. That Dr. Plesko has seen death, maybe even did some of the killing. Dr. Plesko reluctantly affirms as such to the inmate and provides him with his mask as a communication aid. Calling Dr. Plesko smarter than the previous doctors, the inmate puts on the gifted mask and agrees to talk with Dr. Plesko. All he asks is that he be called by his true name, asking Dr. Plesko to call him Zodiac.
Dun, dun, dun. They're back. He's back.
Oh my god.
Oh my god. How excited was Russell?
So there you go. My gosh, Rebecca, whoever wrote this wiki, literally, I think almost transcribed it word for word. Every sentence.
It was very wordy. I prefer your summaries. Right.
Yeah, nothing was left. Oh, thank you, Rebecca. I wasn't fishing, but I will take it.
We'll take it.
I'll take it. Overall impressions. Like, this was the finale, the end to another arc. Adequately, issue 18. We're familiar with the 6-issue arc. So how did you find this one?
Well, it's kind of interesting because I read the last few all together when I got back from my holidays. So all it was really waiting was for the finale. I thought it was good and it worked, but there was something a little bit like slightly anticlimactic at parts. But then it all worked, and it was fun to see Plesko, and it was fun to see. I think that was the kind of pick me up the issue needed, because we all know that the tutor's only a step to Dracula, right? I mean, like we know this is coming, or that the vampires will now move into Blade's book, and Moon Knight will have other issues with his own little vampires. I mean, they're the two ways I can see that going. Is we either keep going up the chain with vampires, or that now segues to Blade, and we get something a bit more different from Moon Knight. So I think it worked because we know that the tutor isn't this sort of the big bad, and he's a little bit of a bureaucrat, and this is a kind of fun way to take him out. And I thought it was inventive and fun, and everyone acted in character, but there was still something a little bit anticlimactic for me.
Yeah, look, I really enjoyed it as well. I mean, it goes without saying, Jed MacKay is a very solid and consistent writer. I had a little bit of that as well, Rebecca, only that, I guess, I don't know, it again, these sorts of things and this sort of writing does, I guess, favour perhaps like the trade when you get it, because this is so self-contained as a finale, outside of it, I don't know. I guess if you come in cold, you're pretty kind of probably a bit confused as to what's happening. I mean, you can gather on what's happening, but it won't have that same impact. I really do think if you read all of this, maybe the last 6 issues all together, like, this finale will really work well. But having said that, I mean, I really enjoyed it. There were some great beats here. There was a little bit more on Soldier that we get to learn about. So again, Jed is taking the time with these characters that he's created, which I think is great. There are nifty little moments in there. I'm just going to call them out now. Obviously, the sprinklers, kind of like until he mentions that he's the priest. But getting that umbrella, how cool is that?
Yeah, that was just and just him and Tigra standing there together with the umbrella was just so iconic.
And just two of them, just to get
I liked his arm. I liked his arm around her waist. Not gonna lie.
Yeah.
Never thought I would be into that, but I like the hand in hand. I like the arm around the waist at the beginning.
I mean, she, she's there, ready to. I mean, she is the superhero. He's the kind of like the god, as Tudor mentions, these are the old school things, so she kind of embodies that. Really cool use. Again, I think more Sabbatini stuff with those, what's that term, Rebecca, where they use the dots kind of...
Pointillism.
Pointillism, yeah, really cool. So you see that there as to kind of create that effect of shading, but not quite. I mean, it's
I
just
really
a nice
like
little...
that. And also call back to old comics as well, when it was all, dotty.
Yeah. Again, a reminder for listeners, we are sharing this up on the live stream, so we are looking at visuals. Any references to visual material, apologies. Come check out the video. But so really cool. I don't know, where would you want to start, Rebecca? As in, like, key moments.
I really liked Hunter's Moon throwing down the umbrella. I thought that was amazing.
Yeah, let's bounce to that. Yeah, I had to have a little look. Yeah, there's this panel here, and Mr. Knight's got his arm up. I had to kind of like, what is that coming down there? I thought it was like a rope ladder or a knife or something.
I like how unclear it was. Like, I like seeing Hunter's Moon working with Mark. So
yeah. And doesn't he look good? There are a couple of great splash pages here from Sabbatini.
There's some really good splash pages in this.
Yeah, I mean, there's two that I can just call out. The one that we've got up right now with the, under the umbrella, which looks really cool. And there's another one with Hunter's Moon.
And her little tail going round his leg. Oh, so sweet.
And all these, like, vampire guests just kind of like, huh? What's going on?
There's a lot of what's going on.
Yeah, but I'll jump to Hunter's Moon, as you mentioned. So, yeah, he had a good role. He seemed to be an awesome shot here as he jumps down from the skylight. And I've learned a new word, Rebecca, Kopesh.
Yeah,
this particular type of... That's an awesome blade, I must say. I did notice here, Rebecca, that he winces. I can't remember. Maybe it's towards the end, Hunter's Moon. So... I think a bit of a callback to him being severely beaten and dying, literally, and resurrecting. So there's a little reference there to previous issues.
Yeah, it's right towards the end. When Mark actually says, "Are you okay?" Yeah,
you okay? Yeah, he goes, but he, as you mentioned, as you alluded to, Rebecca, he was relishing this. We know from the earlier issues, Hunter's Moon is all about killing vampires. He had that tension with Reese. Yeah. And now he gets to drop into a room full of vampires. Yeah. So
I have to say, some great action sequences here, and Sabbatini killed on those. So.
Fantastic. It was really, like, I did not actually, I don't know why, I didn't expect the action to, I mean, I should have, because they've jumped in, but yeah, I was just surprised at the action. I loved, wanted to call out, I have to go back a bit, Tigra talking about her steel caps. Here we go. After all, I got my nails done for this party. Silver claw caps aren't cheap. That's really cool.
That's so cool. It's so cool. Let the women, get ready for these kinds of fights.
I mean, I was hoping, but I guess that panel embodied it all, and we do see Tigra a bit later on. I was hoping would get like a full-on kind of focus on Tigra, in a particular fight, doing whatever, clawing and jumping. So I guess in that regards, although the action was really good, it kind of lacks what a lot of modern comics lack, I think, Rebecca, compared to like the older comics where fight scenes are really focused upon and, to the point.
One, yeah. Well, I mean, to be fair, like, the sprinklers does take out a lot of the vampires. Yep. I was going to say, isn't this is one of the end of arcs we've had with the most action in, I think.
Close to, I think it was it 12 or?
Yeah, well, 12, there was that fight, but there was also that kind of like sleight of hand where you thought there was going to be more of a fight. And it was just like, oh no, just Moon Knight's off somewhere else, or and then comes back. So this is him actually. I don't know. Yeah, it's cool. Maybe you're right. 12 was quite fighty as well.
Yeah, but I mean, we do get the focus on the three here. Hunter's Moon. They're doing the legwork. Tigra and Mr. Knight in the rain. It was funny. just going to another point with Soldier and Reese, and spending some time to hear about Soldier and his allegiance to Moon Knight, which I thought was really cool. It was funny because I was kind of expecting, but there was a bit where Mr. Knight is waiting for the cue, like for the sprinklers to happen.
Yeah.
And I was just waiting for Soldier to not get there.
Or something to go wrong.
Yeah, because it's so kind of timed. But look, full credit to him. He does it right on cue. And then we see the handiwork here. Holy water. Shooter's hand goes up. I mean, there's a little bit of... I mean, we're talking about vampires here, Rebecca, but there's a little bit of suspension of disbelief in the fact that Shooter, his hand burns, but he still survives long enough to get that final beating that that he deserves. Those little things. But and of course that's really inconsequential, I think. But yeah, I don't know. What did you think about the reveal? The holy water, was that?
It's one of those things where you kind of, again, you hand wave it a little bit, like because whether he can actually make holy water, whether the vampires believe it or not. But I like things like that. You see it in a lot of little like vampire films. I'll be like, oh, I've just consecrated this, or haha, it's holy water. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's good. And I've got to say, look, as much as I really enjoy the art of Sabbatini as well, I've got to say, again, Rebecca Rosenberg's colours really do add a lot more to this.
So much to this.
Yeah, I mean the backdrops, just the framing of the characters. Again, I think it might be kind of unique to Moon Knight because he's white, so you can play with the colors around him.
You get a lot of really nice glowing effects around Moon Knight.
Yeah,
I don't know if we've seen quite as much before this run.
No, yeah, I'd beg the question as to whether we do it all. I don't know. It's definitely a lot more prominent here. I see a lot of consistent coloring combos though with Rosenberg, the purples and the greens and the blues, which we get. But then it edges towards a more fiery, like earthy colors as well for more dynamic scenes. I kind of like Soldier here. I think he's he's good. He's got his uses.
It's good to see him getting stuck in.
I would like to see. I mean, we did see it with Reese when she eventually kind of turned Soldier, or by default. I'd like to see Soldier maybe in action as a vampire.
Form a little vampire detective agency. It'd be amazing. Be like like Daughters of the Dragon. We could have like Reese and Soldier doing something.
Yeah,
on the side. They could do something. I was going to say they could do stuff during the day. They cannot do stuff during the day while Moon Knight's doing stuff at night. But they can do their own little investigations.
Yeah, absolutely. No, they're really good support cast, I think. And I do appreciate this extra little bit, with Soldier, just again to show why he's so, because there might be readers questioning why he's so loyal to Moon Knight. I mean, what?
Yeah, or just we haven't heard much about him, so I think each time you can layer on a bit of characterization, while he's appearing in the comics, because he's been a lot of a blank slate until now.
Yeah. I mean, admittedly, I'm more interested, to know more about Reese and have her kind of front and center.
I'd love to see more about her family. I'd love, I kind of want to know, how you suddenly disappear as a vampire or can only function at night, and how that affects the people you knew before. So,
exactly, yeah. I mean,
but it's not their title. It's not their title.
No, it isn't.
I understand that. So, but it would be cool to one day hear about it.
The old annuals.
Maybe
Rebecca.
She's got a cat.
Yeah, exactly. or a dog. Look, let's not.
Or take a dog as well. Yeah.
Take a dog. Yeah. But the old annuals used to do that, Rebecca, as well. They'd give the backstories to some of the other characters, which is always a bit of fun.
More annuals, more
annuals,
please. Everything. More Moon Knight.
I was thinking again, Rebecca. I was just pondering on our previous chat with Jed MacKay, and I do. I reckon we did mention something about Annual, and he was very tight-lipped about that. Do you recall that? Yeah.
Yeah, I think we talked about that last time we chatted. Like, I'm sure we mentioned like, oh, it'd
And
be cool
he,
to have an annual,
yeah, and he was very like mum's.
and then it got
Yeah,
announced.
yeah. So he did very well. Poker face, full credit there. Yeah. So yeah, we've got Moon Knight and Tiger crashing, Soldier and Reese, which is pretty cool. Hunter's Moon. Look, the other final thing I would say. The last bit, Rebecca, and you have already touched upon it. Well, actually, before we get into that,
Yeah, let's do Renfield.
Yeah. So I just put this in one of the notes for references. So for those that don't know, Renfield is a character from the original, like the Bram Stoker's novel of Dracula.
Yeah, he's the one that starts eating flies and
and
spiders, and he's in the mental hospital. So.
Yes. And awesomely portrayed by one of my favourite musicians, Tom Waits, in the Francis Ford Coppola.
There's a new film called Renfield coming out this year with Nicholas Hoult as Renfield and Nick Cage as Dracula. So very timely, Mr. MacKay.
Nick Cage as Dracula.
And the trailer came out the same week as this comic, so you know.
I haven't seen it yet. I know you've posted it like on your profile.
Yeah.
I haven't seen it.
Me and Connor are both into it, so you have to be into it. If we're both,
everyone inundate Rebecca's profile and check out the the YouTube video. Yeah, I want to say, look, Nick Cage to me already is hilarious as Dracula. I just don't know what he's going to pull. Is he going to pull a transformation akin to Ghost Rider?
It's pretty good, and like Nick Hoult is very fun as Renfield. It seems like the tone
would be interesting.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's a fantastic actor, but it's very fun. It's kind of like he's got superhero powers.
Okay.
It's kind of like, oh, Dracula's giving me these powers kind of thing, but it's quite a lot of fun to watch. The voiceover is like, go find me some humans to eat. I would like some nuns and something. Yeah,
okay, it sounds very kooky.
It's going to be a goofball comedy Dracula film. So I know.
Yeah, no, definitely check it out. I think I'll check. I love Nick Cage. I think he's
he's amazing.
He was big in the 90s. But yeah, so there's this like Renfield type character here, nameless, just dubbed Renfield, just basically a messenger. Go back and tell Dracula, essentially Dracula, that don't mess with New York.
Go threaten Dracula.
Yeah, I don't envy this person's role. No. It's probably a death sentence as well, but yeah. So just wanted to mention that before we get into, as you mentioned, Rebecca Plesko. Yes. And I'll let you do the honors because and a big shout out, a big shout out to Digicom Mario. I did notice that in the comments, but after I read this, I went straight to Marvel Wiki because I knew Plesko had to be something. But yeah. For those that don't know, Rebecca,
he was an ex-merc with Spectre and became a member of Mark Spector's Shadow Cabinet. Ray provides with MS Moon Knight. Oh God! Don't.
Oh yeah, sorry. Mark Spector Moon Knight.
Mark Spector Moon Knight 38. Don't, because like before we started this podcast, I got Ray's initials wrong. So like my brain is not switching initials to names right now. I'm like, MS? Who's that? Mark Spector Moon Knight. It's as if I've never read these comics.
Yes.
Yeah. So it was good to see him looking like an aging Tony Stark. But,
Yeah. I think the interesting fact is because I think everyone would know him from who follows Moon Knight as part of the Shadow Cabinet. But just interesting to note that he was an ex-merc as well. He was there with Frenchie, with not necessarily with Bushmen or whatever, but he would be.
He knew Mark from his merc days, so
yeah,
which is obviously why he got pulled into the Shadow Cabinet and psychotherapist. So that is who Zodiac should be speaking to.
Exactly.
If it's not Fool Killer, we'll take another one.
Yeah, and for those that don't know about the Shadow Cabinet as well, it was very much kind of like a council that Mark Spector had in Mark Spector Moon Knight. He got to bounce ideas off and get intel. And in the wiki fandom thingy, Rebecca, it does say that Plesko was one of two. I think there was another person called Mercy. He was one of two that actually met up with Mark in person, because in the Shadow Cabinet they were always like, it was always done kind of like in COVID on Zoom.
Yeah, but like obviously he knew Mark anyway, so
yeah. So he got to catch up with Mark in person.
So obviously the implication of this whole scene is that like Zodiac doesn't have the mask on when he goes in. So that's kind of cool.
But we know what he looks like, though.
We do, yeah. But it's still kind of, I guess he already understands that it will be easier for him to talk as himself.
Well, he doesn't associate that face that he has as him, I guess.
Yeah.
So that's that's a cool way that Jed has made, I guess, the reveal at the end. You know, the communication aid. I think that was pretty cool. Where it goes, I don't know. I'm thinking straight away, look, would Zodiac manipulate Plesko in any way? Are we looking at Plesko going up against Mark? It's really up in the air.
Yeah, I mean, like, presumably he still wants to absolutely break Mark, so we will see.
Yeah, and again, I think a lot of loonies would be happy that he's recurring. I'd like him to
back so quickly, I guess.
Yeah, I'd just like him to be a staple, like Moon Knight villain. Yeah. I think that'd be great. Any other final thoughts here, Rebecca, before we give this one a mark?
No, I think we've covered everything. I thought it was very enjoyable. I just want to say, like we said at the beginning, that I think Sabbatini, you know, like we've praised Cappuccio for like his progress artistically in the run. I think Sabbatini, like from that first stand-in, it's come on leaps and bounds.
Oh, it definitely has. Well, I've always I've been a fan. I know his style may take some time to get used to, but I've always found it quite dynamic in ways, and as you say, it has just improved without a doubt. So, so having said that, Rebecca, let's do it out of we've got the KHONSHU's rating system. What would you give this one?
I gave it 7.5, a solid round boy and a half.
Yes, I absolutely agree with you. 7.5 as well, a solid round boy and a half as well. So a 3/4 moon for others that, you know, want another translation, or 7.5 kopeshes. Take your pick.
There you go.
Yeah, I hope I got that right. Very recommended as the end of arcs go.
Yeah, I mean, like I think you're right. It will read better as a trade, but I think it was a good, satisfying ending. So, and you know, are we edging towards Dracula? Who knows?
Who knows? That's the exciting thing. I mean, like, oh god, I don't know. Like, how does it work with Jed and? I don't know, with it being out there as a meme, and is he allowed? I mean, I'm sure he's allowed to, but what was the protocol? I don't know.
Well, I'm sure, like, as long as money isn't discussed. I mean, like, there's no reason for them. I mean, like, look, we love the meme. I love the meme. I know some people don't. I love the meme. I think it's hilarious. I think Moon Knight Corps are themselves surprised at how much it's taken off, but also they're really good, and they do so much work to sort of promote Moon Knight generally. Like, they're not just there to like to mock, and you know, like, because some of these meme groups can be quite just, oh, we hate, not hate everything about it, but just like we'll take the piss out of everything, and like, but they have a genuine love for the character, and like I don't think there's any problems if Moon Knight meets Dracula. I think as long as that meme isn't replicated, and even then, you know, like, who knows? I don't know.
Even there might be a
I can't see them doing it, but I can see.
I hope they do. Yeah, I don't know. It'll be so cool. Like, I'd be so happy
I'd like Moon Knight to get all the calls out. But
yeah, I'd love it. So Dave, I mean, just a shout out to Dave and Bobby from Moon Knight Corps. Great guys. We love you guys. So that'll be a fantastic shout out. I don't know. I think that'll be.
But honestly, just having Moon Knight and Dracula on a legit canonical panel together as well, like, more would also be a gift. You know. So.
Yeah.
Who knows? Yeah. But I also suspect that may be where Blade's coming in. So it might sort of not go that way. But it's one way or the other. We'll see. It's good to have Zodiac back. Obviously, the cover for next time.
Oh, yes. Oh, my gosh. Yes, for those that haven't seen it, dive into your Volume 1 Doug Mensch, Moon Knights, and figure out who that guy is. It's a crazy deep dive or a deep cut or whatever you
It's
call
an
it.
amazing deep dive, and we
Yeah,
love it.
we love it.
So that's the one that gets you, excited for the next one. Like this, which was fun, which is pretty cool when you've just reintroduced Zodiac to go. Here's a real callback.
Exactly.
So looking forward to that. So yeah,
we'll see how that goes as well. Anyway, Loonies, we might just take a quick short break, and when we come back, Rebecca, we've just got a few little responses.
Yeah.
A few awesome feedback responses from Looney listeners, and we'll go through that before we wrap up.
Hello, I'm Anthony.
And I'm Dr. Issues.
And we're hosts of Capes on the Couch, the podcast where comics get counseling.
Superheroes don't always get to go home happy. That's where we come in.
We offer psychiatric and mental health analysis of comic book characters.
So check us out at capesonthecouch.live and across all social media platforms at Capes on the Couch.
Hey everyone, this is Brian, the host of Inner Demons, the Ghost Rider podcast. And since 2017, Inner Demons has been the best place on the web for news, reviews, and regular discussion with our listeners about Marvel's Spirit of Vengeance, Ghost Rider. You can find us on Stitcher, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, and many other podcast catchers, as well as on Twitter at InnerDemonsGR. Remember, listening to your Inner Demons is not always a bad thing. Ride on.
And we're back. I hope everyone had enough time to go to the bathroom to get a top up of their tea or coffee or drink of choice. But we're back. Yes, Rebecca, we've just got a few bits of feedback. Just like to call out. Thank you so much to the loonies out there for just discussing it. I mean, we put up some discussion threads. In the anticipation for every new episode, actually on any issue that we cover. So it's always cool to hear from you. I know there's been some talk, Rebecca, in Discord as well. So great guns. Thanks everyone for letting us know. I'll kick off here, Rebecca. The first one is from all of these are from our Facebook page. I have a feeling that there might be some on Instagram, so I'm just going to pull up quickly, Rebecca, a Instagram thingamajigs, but in the meantime, Luis Brambilla has said of this issue, it was meh. Like all the other arcs, it has great build-up and then the end falls flat. Wrapped up quickly without really much happening. It had some cool moments, but where it should be fleshed out, it's rushed, and where it drags, it should be wrapped up. No, interesting. No, thanks, Luis, for those comments as well. I get a sense of what you're saying as well. I mean, it may not explode in a whole heap of like fireworks, but I think it wraps up the arc pretty well. I'd be interested to know, like what you mentioned, as in it where it should flesh out stuff, it's rushed, and where it drags, it should be wrapped up. Are we talking about, I guess, more on Tutor, maybe less on Soldier, stuff like that? I don't know, but be very keen to hear. But no, thank you as always. Yeah, always a huge Looney fan.
Oh, nice.
Yep.
As everyone should be. Blake Buxton, satisfying end to the Tutor. Nice to see that story, the story in continuity with mention of Vlad and Chernobyl. Yes. We never did find out Zodiac's identity, eh? The way that wrapped up a couple of issues back was a bit muddled to me. Tutor wasn't much of a threat overall, pompous and overconfident. Well, I agree on Tutor. He wasn't much of a threat, but it was kind of fun how little of a threat he really was.
Yeah, I mean... Yeah, that's it. No, maybe that was what Luis is talking about as well. Yeah, I mean, like, he, for all intents, was the big bad, like the big boss. If like playing a video game, he's the end game.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, but again, hats off then to Moon Knight, Mr. Knight's strategy and his, planning. I think that's pretty good. Blake as well mentions Zodiac's identity wrapped up a couple of issues back. Do you, Rebecca, remind me, was that done? I can't remember.
I don't remember either.
Yeah, as well.
I just avoid that one, but
I just remember we know his face. That's all, because we know his God, what's his name? Was he Shannon? I can't remember. He was one of the people in the Midnight Mission. That was kind of he was kind of undercover, so to speak. But as for his identity, I don't know. I guess that's always going to be. We'll never know his true identity. I think he's meant to be kind of.
Who knows?
Yeah.
Just having a quick look.
Yep. Have a gaze on that. And Rebecca, just the last one from Mario Di Giacomo. He was on the last episode of our show last year, Digicom, a great member of the community. Mario says, a creative but not entirely original solution to the how do you fight a room full of vampires problem. I think he's alluding to
the
Blade.
Holy water. And no, I think he's alluding to sprinklers.
Yeah, isn't that in Blade? Doesn't Blade do that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, I thought you meant Blade to fight vampires.
Oh, yeah.
Not really with it,
No worries.
I get it.
Mario continues, having Hunter's Moon drop the umbrella through the skylight was a nice wrinkle, though. Speaking of which, Batter seems a bit off this issue. Yeah, I picked that up as well. Yeah. Is it related to his resurrection, or is he just grumpy? I think it's a little bit of column A and column B there, Mario. I don't know about you, Rebecca.
I mean, he was always a bit grumpy, but yeah, there's definitely something off with him. For Mark to notice it and say, "Are you okay?" In the middle of a fight. I'm not saying Mark wouldn't normally pick this stuff up, because I think he is quite intuitive about the people around him. But for him to stop mid-fight to say it.
Yeah, I think.
I guess.
I reckon it's like Hunter's Moon going, look, let me at it, and he's not fully recovered.
Well, yeah, and I mean, Mark knows what it's like to be resurrected, so he probably knows what the knock-on effects are as well.
True. Mario continues, my guess is the former, which we were saying, since it may tie into the price KHONSHU will charge for his assistance. As MCU Mordo put it, the bill always comes due. We also get some lovely character bits with Soldier and Reese. I like those two together.
Yeah.
And an epilogue that not only brings Zodiac back into the book, but a former member of the Shadow Cabinet. Yes, thank you, Mario. But whose side is he on? Yeah, I like that kind of, we don't know. So I like that. Art-wise, I still find Sabbatini a bit cartoony, but not as much as in earlier issues. Overall, I'll give this issue a nice 8 out of 10. Thank you so much, Mario.
You.
Yeah, couldn't agree more with you as well. I mean, Sabbatini is very subjective, of course, as well. But I do see where you're coming from with that kind of perspective. So thank you so much, Loonies, for that, for the feedback. Let us know, it's not too late as well. We've still got the discussion thread. Let us know your thoughts on issue 18. I mean, can you believe it, Rebecca? We are in issue 18.
I know, it's amazing.
Yeah.
I love
and we're
it.
still going. We're still going.
I'm planning on keep going.
Yes. So again, one of the predictions as well, I think Mario and I said, at least 30 issues. We're talking about the end of next year. End of this year, sorry. So, so very cool. So thank you once again. Please get your comments in, whether it's on Facebook, Twitter, or even on our Discord channel. That's going really well as well. We've got a lot of nice, good discussion happening over there. Rebecca, next phase, we might as well call it now. We have been alluding to it all night, all day. Very excited. Rebecca, you and I, and I will try, and because Lena reached out to me, I'll try to see if Lena can make it as well. But we are going to have Jed MacKay on. So that will be Tuesday evening coming for you US listeners. I'll send out a schedule on our social media or on our Facebook page, and so just get a notification, get a reminder, and throw your questions at Jed whilst Rebecca and I chat with him. It should be fun. We'll be looking at an overview of the last 6 issues. So from issues 13 to 18, we'll just kind of recount the major points, what has happened, how things have developed. And dare I say, Rebecca, maybe indirectly tease Jed as to what's coming up.
I mean, he's really good at being cagey, and we never want to overstep our levels, but
Yeah, and as Jed said, he'll tell us no if he wants, which is fine.
Yeah, exactly. So, but yeah, hopefully we'll do you all proud. And
yes,
if you have anything you'd like us to ask him, let us know very quickly.
Yes, absolutely. Though. I mean, but
they've got about as much notice as we had. So don't worry about it. This hasn't been 1 month in the planning. So
no, I mean, to kind of be a bit transparent about this, because the new issue of Moon Knight's coming out on Wednesday, January 11th. So
we're trying to get it in before that. So
we wanted to get it in before that came out. So just have a good old chat with Jed, and it's so much fun to chat with Jed. So lucky, Rebecca, I think we are to be able to.
I mean, and to be even more transparent, and sorry, Ray, if this is stepping on toes, but we'd always said that we'd talk to him again after issue 18, but he's the one that emailed to remind us, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So I'm
bless him.
chuffed.
I mean, I think me and Ray would have got. Obviously, Ray would have got around. We would have got around to it. I think we were just waiting for that post-Christmas, post-New Year stuff to settle in, get this issue out underway. But no, he emailed and said, "Hey guys,
I know.
Do it." So
I'm just
we are really, really blessed to have such a receptive and such a good writer on I think right now.
Oh, absolutely. I'm going to ask him how tall he is, Rebecca, because
okay.
No, because I was speaking to someone else and they said apparently he's really tall. So I mean, we can't tell because he's seated, right? So,
let's do it. Let's ask him how tall he is.
How tall.
I missed his signing in London, so I can't tell you.
Oh no.
I was the day I flew back from Cambodia, so I was literally I touched down in London as his signing was happening. So
bugger.
Yeah,
but absolutely looking forward to it. It should be so much fun. So yes, that's to look forward to, and that's in less than a week. So we are hitting 2023 with a bang. There you go. It's 2 episodes in a week. How's that? Anyway, as always, a huge thank you to all our Patreon members. I'll shoot that up now. Thank you so much to each and every one of you for helping us prop up the show. And like I said, we'll be sending something out to each and every one of you as well as a thank you. It's been so great, and hopefully we can do more. I'm already in the works of banking some bonus episodes. So again, like last year, there'll be a bonus episode each month. The last one Rebecca and I did on Guardians of the Galaxy Holiday Special. Rebecca, one of your favourites. One of your favourites.
Yeah. Always my favourite.
But there's plenty in store, and I've got to say that with a little smirk, because there might be one on cricket. So you never know what you're gonna get.
I love cricket. I'm so excited.
I'm not sure about
more excited than Midnight for cricket one.
I'm not sure about the Americans though, Rebecca. That's all I'm saying. Anyway, it is a bonus, so you can listen to it if you want to. But a huge thank you again to those on the screen now, as always, and also a special mention to Odin Sword. Check out his Drinking Marvel podcast. Frank the Think Tank. They've just released with Pablo Candy Bar, his nephew, I Want to Fight It podcast, a brand new episode on the Minotaur, where they fight a mythical creature, Rebecca, and they explain how they would defeat it. It's really cool, really fun podcast. Daniel Doing's Fringe Night. Go check out patreon.com/Fringe Night 27 for supporting his original creator-owned comic book series. And Drew Toombs, of course, check out soundcloud.com/tombs with a Z, or lurkmusic with a CK.bandcamp.com. I know Drew's been busy in the studio. I've been seeing his stuff on his profile. He's been busy creating new material. Can't wait to hear that. Go check it out when you can. Finally, as well, CLZ Comics from on collectors.com and Dreamland Comics. Use the code MOON to get 20% off their online store. Of course, we are part of the collective. Rebecca, I know you've got a busy schedule already. I mean, what have you been recording coming up as well?
We've got. I just did a Immortal Iron Fist.
Awesome.
And so that should be out soon-ish. And I am doing a DCAU one tomorrow.
Awesome. With Alan Sharp, some great stuff. Go check it out. Part of the collective. Also as well, a big shout out to our friends Russell. He was featured in our love comments. Gamma Charge, the strongest podcast there is, all to do with the Hulk. It's fantastic too. You can find us, email us, please contact us. We love chatting with everyone, chatting Moon Knight. I mean, we just love the character.
Yes.
And you can catch us, feedback at itkmoonnight.com. We've got the website, itkmoonnight.com. On Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, just search ITK Moon Knight or Into the Night Moon Knight or whatever. It should pop up. And you can catch all our videos there as well. I think that about does it, Rebecca.
It's got to have done it for now. I mean, that's pretty comprehensive. It's been a good return. I'm looking forward to issue 19.
Oh my gosh, issue 19. I'm looking forward to chatting with Jed. I'm looking forward to
chatting to Jed as well.
Seeing how tall he is. Bets, Rebecca, what do you reckon? I reckon 190 centimeters.
Oh my god, I don't know.
He's apparently tall. It's apparently tall.
I'm just gonna check what that is in feet. Yeah, that's actually what I was gonna guess. 6'2" ish.
6'2"? Yeah. You're not going to go the big 7 foot?
No,
I don't think he's 7 foot.
No. I only know one person who's close to 7 foot, and it's intimidating for me. I'm very short. No, somebody I was at university with was 6'9".
Oh wow! And jeez, how did they fit into the lecture theatre?
It was very funny because he drove me to Bristol once, and I'm like the shortest person, and he's like the tallest person. It was very funny.
That's awesome.
But yeah, no. So let's say it's 6'2". My brother-in-law's 6'2". So
let's go 6'2", Jed, and I hope you're 6'2".
190 for anyone going in centimeters, which will only be
190 centimeters.
Brits and Australians.
yeah.
It won't be American.
On Discord, let's get the betting going. 6'2" at $1.50. How's that? Okay. So anyone, thank you so much again. Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back, Rebecca and us, and welcome back me. Happy 2023. And as always, may KHONSHU watch over the denizens of the night. Catch you later.
Bye.
Moon Knight and affiliated characters, stories and events are properties of Marvel Characters Incorporated. Materials used and discussed within the podcast are intended for critique and review purposes only under the fair dealing concept of the current Copyright Act. The views, information or opinions expressed during the podcast are solely those of the individuals involved and do not necessarily represent those of the copyright owners.